fellow human, you are losing your ability to fall, and it's costing you an arm and a leg. In fact, I know many muscle-slabbed pro athletes that are mortified just to be able to do an inversion and go head over heels into a front roll because they're concerned about falling. Or people, as they're growing in age, they're concerned about their joints. They're concerned about those impacts and what that's going to do to their body. Just today, I was working with somebody, and we're going to go through and help you dial this in so that you don't have a fear of falling anymore, and so that you can deal with those impacts and be able to brace for those impacts, because there's actually an art and a skill to falling, and it should be part of just normal training. So we're going to go through that. But I was working with somebody today where just that aspect of bringing that into his training helped him to unlock a handstand to a bridge, and then standing up from there, as well as a butterfly twist, which looks like this. And so being able to have that skill of falling without concern and the ability to land gracefully and deal with those impacts is a massive, massive advantage. And it will open the door and the portal to all kinds of other strength and skill. And so when we think about falling, there's a fear that people have. And what is fear exactly? Well, some people say that it's false evidence appearing real. I say it's false expectations appearing real. And it stems from something. It stems from the idea of loss. And so when it comes to a fear of falling, people think that they may lose an aspect of their health due to a fall. So maybe it's the ability for movement, or they may experience pain or a loss of time, because then they have to recover. They have to go through that recovery process, and how are they going to get that time back? And so there's a fear there due to the expectation of some sort of kind of loss because of that impact that may create an injury or a trauma or something that they have to now deal with. Okay, so I'm going to make it to where you can learn how to fall and develop that as an art, as a skill for yourself. One of the first things that they teach in skydiving is not just how to jump out of a plane, but it's how to fall. So one of those basic falls is like this. The arms are in. A lot of people will scramble and they'll throw their arms and limbs out, trying to protect themselves. The arms come in, and then we just roll to the side like that. That's one of the first things that you learn for skydiving, is how to fall at the end. Let's say that you're coming down for a rough landing, the parachute is open and you're hitting the ground, and then you're coming through and you're going into that. That same kind of movement is part of our warm-up. So at the end of warm-up, we go through a series of rolls. Hands are flat, and then we're coming up to here. We'll go through shoulder roll series too. These are all half rolls, but they're designed to help prepare the person to deal with being on the ground and having your joints impact the ground and being able to be smooth. There's a developmental phase to that. You have to have that adaptation phase, and you have to be okay with dealing with some of those bumps and allowing the body to adjust, because it will, and it grows stronger dealing with the impacts. So we come over here with like the right leg, and we touch it to the back behind us, and then we do the left leg like this. And so those rolls allow you to be able to be confident in trying new things, because then you're able to roll out of particular instances that you don't quite make a landing. And this applies to anywhere else. I remember a long time ago, my mountain bike broke and the front wheel came off, and I dove through the air, and just time kind of slowed down, and I saw the ground and just shoulder rolled, and everything was okay. So having that as a part of your arsenal of movement is extremely vital. So look, just standing up like this and being able to fall backwards here and get back up, okay? Being able to go to the side and get back up, in through a roll, and standing back up quickly, easily. And then, like the move that I showed in the beginning, stemming from Shaolin or Wushu, or some might even say, oh, what do these breakdance moves have to do with your training? Actually, breakdancers are geniuses in terms of the movements that they develop from sheer nothing, and then just collaborating with each other and synthesizing so many different parts of movement from throughout the world. They're genius artists in their own right. So being able to land gracefully, deal with the impact, and then with resilience, get back up. So from a low position here, I can turn my body, and instead of just rolling here, I'm learning how to deal with that, twisting. A lot of people have issues that immediately arise with dizziness, or they start getting nauseous as soon as they start going upside down. They start getting vertigo. So that is also symptomatic of the nervous system not being trained and prepared to handle those forces. And those movements that expose the weak links are often the ones that help to rebuild them as well and give you a greater tolerance and a greater threshold and a greater capacity and capability for human movement. And that's what we're after with Powerbatics training, is body mastery and higher and higher and higher levels of human movement and capability. See you in the next video and in training soon.